Greetings from LA, my dear friends. This is Daisuke, and I would like to continue on, if I may, to my dear Patreon friends and subscribers to talk about your favorite films lists. You very kindly, over the course of many, many months, submitted to me your favorite films list, and I have been going at such a slow pace in responding to each of these, and I want to make up for that by going through or picking up where I last left off with regard to these wonderful lists. So I've spoken about some of them up to a point, and then now I'd like to pick up where I left off. So again, these are for Patreon friends, subscribers, paid subscribers, or free subscribers. It doesn't, either way is fine, of course. People who are Patreon members can submit these lists to me, what their favorite films are, and I'll try to react to as many of them as possible. And, if you submitted a list to me and I haven't spoken about it, just you can send me a comment and I'll try to respond. Although I am going through them here as I've received them, and then just catching up with these wonderful comments that you've very kindly submitted to me. And of course, if you were a Patreon member and then you submitted a list, but you're no longer a Patreon member, you canceled the membership or whatever the case may be, that's totally fine, not a problem. I will still respond to the great lists that you provided. So let me now go to the next comment here, which is Ben. So Ben, you say, this is Ben. We spoke briefly on Discord and discussed Japanuary. It was an absolute pleasure to chat with you, and I'm happy to be a part of the Patreon community now. I'm a little late to the party, but here are 10 of my favorite films. I'd love to hear your thoughts on some of these sometime. And you say at the end here, before I go to the list, I hope all is well with you. I'm looking forward to the next time we get to chat. Cheers, my friend. Thank you, Ben. Thank you very much, Ben. This is very kind of you. You are an expert in terms of in cinema, and I see the list here. And let me just scroll up here. Here we go. So the list that you have is as follows: Here we go. Hold on. Oops. Sorry. I messed up here. Hold on. Give me 1 second here. There we go. It's sort of the window is. The window suddenly shrank on me on the computer. I apologize. There I go with technology. Okay, sorry, here we go. So the films that you have are Nine Souls, Eureka, Last Life in the Universe, Tokyo Fist, Cure, Rainy Dog, The Taste of Tea, August in the Water, oh my goodness, Swallowtail Butterfly, oh my goodness, Still Walking, oh my goodness, okay. Okay, so this is 10. Okay, you don't have numbering here, so I don't. It may be this. This may not necessarily be in any kind of order, although it could be. I'm not sure, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. So let me. Oh my goodness, there's so much to say in this great list. Where do I begin? Where do I begin with this? Okay, let me. I mean, I don't know if I can speak about everything here, but I am very impressed with this. I have so many memories of discovering Swallowtail Butterfly, the film, UI, and Swallowtail Butterfly, the world of UI. But it was one of those things where, back in the day, discovering his films and getting the Japanese DVDs or the renting them on videotape, in Japan, living in Japan, etc., at the local tsutaya, which is the Japanese video rental store. It was kind of like the Blockbuster of Japan, that kind of thing. But Swallowtail Butterfly, that was such an amazing experience watching it for the first time. And oh my goodness, it brings back so many memories of where I was actually in my life at the time when I watched that film. So that's a great choice. That is a great choice. With regard to Still Walking, I'm a great admirer of this. I think that is such a great choice. Koreeda is and Still Walking has such a power such a power. Oh, excuse me. I should say it's when I'm filming this. It's in Los Angeles. It's a little bit hot. It's unusually hot for this time of year, and so I have my air conditioner on. So this is my air conditioner. So let me just cool myself off. Or just I think my brain is over. My heart and brain are overheating from the excitement from your great list here. So, but let me continue. What was I saying? Yeah. So still walking. I love this choice so much. I think, yeah. Anything by Koreeda could go on a top 10 list, but still walking. There is a sense of almost sort of repressing need and intimacy and time. Oh, it's a great choice. And August in the Water. Uh, uh, yes. I was I always say it's his earlier, but Gakuryu Ishii, yes, Gakuryu Ishii. This is such a great choice. Mizu no Naka no Hachigatsu. This is like um, this is such a mind warping film in many senses. And I think Ishii films operate like that, but not for the sake of a kind of superficial artifice, as you know. There is a deep hidden meaning there. Um, and it has this, I mean, I love its sort of layer of sort of ordinariness, quote unquote Japanese ordinariness, in quotes of the daily mundane that sort of trips and warps in his hands in this kind of almost almost invisible hand type of way. I'm trying to be as vague as possible here, but this is great. August in the Water. I don't know. Has that been released, quote unquote, officially outside of Japan? At least as of the time of this video. I'm making this video in mid 2025, so I'm not sure. I really don't know. I know not that many. Some of Ishii's films have been released outside Japan, excuse me, but not all of them. But it would be great if that changed, or if it has been released outside of Japan. That would be quite wonderful indeed. But this is a great choice. And the taste of tea. The taste of tea. This is so cool. The taste. I saw this in Japan. Taste of tea. Aji. So cha no aji. That's a cha no aji. That's also with Tadanobu Asano Tadanobu. So. Who I think some people or people might recognize now with his, I think, fame, his critical acclaim garnered in terms of his work. I think on was it Shogun? I think, but yeah. This is so great. It takes place. In Tochigi, the area of Tochigi, right? It's Tochigi. So there's a sort of I have not close family there, but I have certain sort of connections with the area. So that's such a great choice. That's a very very interesting choice, my friend. And again, similar question for you that I had for August Mizu no Naka no Hachigatsu, the Ishii film, which is, has this been released quote unquote officially outside of Japan? I'm not sure if it has, but I'm not sure if it has. But it would be great if it did, or I could be wrong and it has. But let's see here. Rainy Dog. Okay, Mike is also a filmmaker that I very, very seldomly spoke about on this channel, and I think that's for a number of reasons. One, it's just one of my terrible oversights on the channel. It has many failings, and one being not enough Mike discussion, but also there's just so much to talk about. But Rainy Dog is, I think it's a great example of I mean, I don't want to say minimalist. That's not quite what I mean, but even if I do mean to use that word, I mean it in a very complimentary way. But it's another varied facet of the Mike style, and I think it's surprising. I think it's a film that maybe lends itself to multiple viewings. if you understand what I'm getting at, to really get into the rhythm of it. And I think it's leaves behind a lot of great surprises, a lot of great surprises. So, well done for mentioning that. This is quite wonderful. Gosh, where should I go? Where should I go next? Like I can speak of, yeah. Well, Eureka. Eureka is a film that I was so lucky. I was living in the United States at the time. It was like 1999, 2000, something like that. Was it 2000 or 2001? Was 2000, or what did it get? Was it released in the United States like maybe 2001? I'm not sure. I forget. But it's around 2000, 2001. And I know that because it was the latter days of my college, my undergraduate years. Or the final, maybe the last year, maybe I was a junior or senior, I forget. But I remember I went to see Eureka like in the theater because it had a short release window in limited theaters in the United States. And I went to college in the U.S., but it was playing in maybe small art house theaters in New York City. So I lived, my college town was maybe about 2 hours or so away by train from New York. So you could go if you wanted to watch a movie. So I went and I saw Eureka in the theater, Koji Yakusho and others. It's a long film. And it's, I think what I love about a film so much is you feel the sense of time. And there's a way that you can also get a sense of that, how it plays with color tones in its visual palette, if you know what I mean, as well, which is quite remarkable. And there's this sense of guilt, obviously, for the events that happen kind of early on in the film, trauma, which happens early on in the film, and how those things are lingering, and how there are many offshoots of how people can deal with this type of post-traumatic stress. You can deal with it in a kind of positive way, or maybe a potentially fruitful way, or maybe there's no hope for that, and maybe it's all quite cynical and quite dark, leads to very violent outcomes, or there's maybe a sense of not knowing, and maybe that's the whole point of the human condition as portrayed in this film, Eureka. But it's a fascinating tale. That really unravels. It has so many subplots that you think are going to go a certain way. You know, there's a there's a hijacking subplot element that happens quite early on. There's a bit about, there's a road movie aspect that comes through. There's sort of the sort of sibling brother sister element that happens. There's also a serial killer element that happens early on as well, but they unravel in ways that are, I think, very surprising. You think they might go in certain directions, they go completely opposite directions to one's expectations. At least mine, as I had them when I saw the film for the first time. It's a huge epic of a film, right, and the performance by Koji Yakusho and. What's it? It's Aoi Miyazaki. I actually saw her in person once when I was living in New York, much later. But I saw her in person living in New York. I was just riding the N train or something, and one day, and she just appeared in the same car, just sat right across from me. It's like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. But I couldn't take a picture or anything like that. I was so nervous, but it was one of the coolest things. But that's New York for you, huh? So many things. I also saw Kiefer Sutherland one time just walk right in front of me, just like it was amazing. That was during the heyday of 24, so that was really cool. But anyway, Eureka, one of the great cinema going experiences of my life, really was, and I saw it many times in the theater. I love the soundtrack. Eureka, Koji Yakusho's performance is great. So, the Aoyama film, Eureka. So that's a great choice. And I mean, speaking of Koji Yakusho, I should go to the other one of the other films here, the Koji Yakusho performance that's referred to, and that's the film Cure. Cure. I think Cure is it's much like the way in which the sort of the slow crawl of water across the way there in some of the great scenes. I think Cure is becoming a film that is becoming more and more. It's climbing up there in terms of, if I had to list my favorite Japanese films ever, it's really climbing up there. It's having a great impact, and it kind of really came out of nowhere. It's a and I don't mean this in any type of negative way. I mean, it's a film that, you know, like many great films, you know, maybe it, upon its initial production, it maybe didn't necessarily have grand ambitions for being quote unquote great cinema, end quote. I mean, maybe it had ambitions for being a very purposefully minded thriller, very effective in its way, but also very low budget and quite modest in its sort of approach and way of giving details. But my goodness, it really has grown into, I would say, a kind of phenomenon. If one had to name one of the great Kurosawa, Kiyoshi Kurosawa films, that would maybe be top of my list. So, yeah, Cure. What I think, well, one of the things I think is so great about this film, Cure, is that it is so, it has so many mysteries. It's so like almost impenetrable or inscrutable. It's like kind of like the line in one of the Kitano films. One of the guys says in that film, "You Japanese are so inscrutable," or something like that. So it is a very inscrutable film, Cure is. But I think it almost, it's a film that couldn't survive without its inscrutability. Its enigmatic sense, its enigmas are so sort of, it's organically enigmatic. And in other words, it's like you couldn't have it any other way. You couldn't have it any other except being just so mind-bendingly confusing. And I think that's a great strength of the film. It's confusing, but you can kind of get it, and when you can kind of get it, all things fall into place. You don't, right? You can try to piece together the specific roadmap of what is happening in terms of the crimes, but that's almost not the point, or it could be one of the points, but you almost don't need all that specific information to still get the gist of what's going on, which I think is the great strength of this. So you can take it as far as you want and still recede, but still get so much power from the film, and it's quite a cinematic whack. That's for sure. Koji Yakusho. I mean, maybe it's not politically correct for me to say right now. I mean, I'm not a smoker, but there's a way in which, and it happens towards the end of the film, the way in which his character smokes a cigarette in a little kind of coffee shop restaurant, smokes a cigarette, and the camera sort of lingers on his face and goes elsewhere inside the restaurant. Is a kind of key moment of the film, kinda. But there's just, again, it's this is not meant to be like a promotion for smoking or anything like that. But there's just something quite almost alluring and mysterious just by that gesture, and that's what I mean. It's like things like that. They don't necessarily themselves signal either the start or end of a mystery, but in fact, in the placement of where it comes in the film, and also what's happened before and what might happen afterwards, you realize that it holds so much mystery. I mean, it's like what's going on here, that type of thing. It's all in the gesture of a cigarette being, in the cigarette smoke and the drink of a little sip of coffee, and the music slowly swells. By the way, I love that musical theme that's played. And I love too the way that the credits have this jagged, kind of weird, like overlapping kind of like these triangles overlapping thing. I love, that's really cool. And then I watched the Japanese trailer. It's like a minute 30. I think it's one of my I think the trailer, the short Japanese trailer, which is about a minute 30 or so. You can find it on YouTube. The Japanese trailer it uses the theme, the piano theme. Could be my favorite trailer ever. That and the trailer for Star Trek Six, The Undiscovered Country. But that's my favorite trailer ever. One of them, anyway. That for Cure. But get out of the room. If someone spills a glass of water, get it. Don't think about trying to clean it up. Don't try to play nice. Don't try to offer to wipe it with a napkin. No. Just get out. Walk away as soon as you can. Don't even look back. Just walk out of the room and don't look back. That's my advice to you. If you live in the universe of Cure, that's so great. And again, Yakusho Koji was just like on a roll. Shall We Dance and Cure, and of course his role of earlier, a few years back from Tampopo, and it's just Yakusho Koji. It's like what James Bond director Terrence Young. He was asked, what were the 3 ingredients that made James Bond films a success? Dr. No, James Bond films a success, and he said it was Sean Connery. Well, something quite similar, I think, could be said about what could be said to be, maybe the groundwork for the success of sort of Japanese cinema, maybe on an international scale. One could, I think, very, very confidently reply to that, and in a very convincing retort, Yakusho Koji. So but I think he's one of the great representatives of Japanese cinema, period. And it's a work like, I think if you had to name the top performances in cinema, Cure would definitely be up there. Definitely. It would, yes. Anyway, oh gosh, Last Life in the Universe, yes, 9 Souls, Tokyo Fist, my goodness, I love this Tokyo Fist as well. Oh gosh, anyway, Ben, I don't want to overburden you with my terrible comments. I hope you can forgive me already for what I've said, but this is great. This is really great, Ben. Thank you so much for this. And it's so hard for me to sort of maneuver myself from various platform to platform. I apologize, but in terms of being on one social media platform and the other social media platform and other social media platform, I'm trying my best, but sometimes just my own schedule and my own lack of being able to organize my time efficiently gets the better of me. So I apologize if I've been out of things, but I just wanted to let you know, Ben, that your list is great, your taste in cinema is great, your enthusiasm for cinema is great, and you just keep on doing what it is you're doing, Ben. All right? Keep on doing what it is you're doing, because it's great. Thank you so much. Thank you for mentioning August in the Water, Swallowtail Butterfly. Really, thank you for that. In particular, thank you, or as examples, thank you. Anyway, my dear friend, let me leave you here. And yes, I want to say thank you to you, and thank you to my dear friends here in the Patreon community. And yes, these list reactions will continue. So I look forward to seeing you at the next one, my dear friends. But to Ben and to my other friends here, I'll see you very soon. So until the next one, Ben, take care, stay strong, stay safe, and cheers. Cheers, Ben.